Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with an updated deck profile, and today I'll be showing you guys my trap monsters. So starting off with the monsters, we have the free calculator. This, of course, is your win condition of the deck. It gains 300 attack times the level of all monsters you control, including itself. So it starts out at 600 attack, and then when you combine the levels of all your other trap monsters that you can summon on board, this card can get to an insanely high attack power, actually giving you some OTK potential with the deck and the offensive power that otherwise it would pretty much lack because the deck is pretty slow in controlling otherwise without the calculator. Then we have the 2-card Cardi. This, of course, gives the deck a little bit extra, consistency and draw power. Since there's a lot of turns where all you're really able to do is just, set trap monsters. You're not really going for offensive plays, so it's nice to have Cardi, especially going first, just to be able to net a couple cards and be able to set yourself up for future turns. Then for the final monster, we have the 2 Traps of Cermelio. Kind of for the same purpose as Cardi, just a normal summon that nets you advantage. It's a level 4 that combines well with your other level 4 trap monsters to go into rank 4 plays. And then it does make your Pendulum matchup and Kazo matchup a bit easier since you can obviously search Time Space Trap Hole off of Mermelio. So that's it for monsters. For spells, we have the triple Duality and triple Upstart Goblin for consistency. Of course, this deck doesn't really special summon that much on your turn. You mostly do it on your opponent's turn with your trap monsters, so Duality fits in the deck nicely. And then with Upstart, you're just adding that extra bit of consistency because you have key combo cards like Statue of Anguish Pattern and Imperial Custom that you want to see as quickly as possible. So you don't really mind giving your opponent that extra life if it means that you're more likely to get to those key cards that you need. Then speaking of drawing, we have the 2 Magic Planter. This serves the dual purpose of not only clearing your back row, since your continuous traps can kind of clog out your back row pretty quick, but it also does net you a couple cards for your troubles as well. So it's nice when you've gotten your usage out of a certain trap monster and you just want to get it off the board, or if, say, it's completely dead on the board, like it's summoned with stop, but it stays on board, so you can use Magic Planter to just get rid of it and get a couple cards for it. Then for the final spell, we have the 1 Raigeki. Now on to traps. Starting off, we have the triple Statue of Anguish Pattern. This basically is the best card of the deck. What it does is it's a level 7 trap monster, 0 attack, 2500 defense. While you control another trap monster, it cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, so that makes it to where it can be a nice wall at 2500 and it can't be targeted. And then each time you summon another trap monster on the board, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. That effect is not once per turn and it does stack, so if you have multiple statues on board, you do get each of their effects. And if you have, say, 1 statue on board and you summon 2 trap monsters, within a chain, on that new chain you will get to destroy 2 cards off of the 1 statue, so do keep that in mind. So what statue is basically good for? It's good for being a protective wall that is hard for your opponent to get over, and it's also good for being a card that can disrupt your opponent's plays on their turn by trying to destroy their setup before they can go for explosive plays with its ability to pop cards. Next we have the triple Abyss Stun Ray. This card cannot be destroyed by battle, so it's another kind of protective wall similar to Statue. It's also a level 5 light, which means you can use it to go into Pleiades if you play that in the extra deck, by overlaying 2 of them. And then it does have 1900 attack, which means it is a decent beater if you want to go for some offensive plays with it. Otherwise, you can put it in defense mode and try to sit on it for a couple turns if you need to. Then we have the 2 Tiki Curse and 2 Tiki Soul. These are both level 4 trap monsters. Soul has 1000 attack, 1800 defense, and Curse has the reverse stats. With Soul's effect, if another one of your trap monsters were to be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect, you can reset them in your spell and trap card zone instead. So that effect obviously can combo off very well with Statue of Anguish Pattern to be able to reuse your trap monsters and pop more cards. With Tiki Curse, if another one of your trap monsters bows an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster will be destroyed at the end of the damage step. So that combos off very well with Imperial Custom for the fact that Custom protects your trap monsters from being destroyed by battle anyway. Then we have the 2 Cyber Shadow Gardener. This is a card that probably combines the best with Statue of Anguish Pattern. This you can only activate during your opponent's main phase, and then it special summons itself to the field as an effect monster card, or a trap monster basically. And then if it were to be attacked into, it copies the its attack and defense becomes the attack and defense of the attacking monster. So basically, just mimics that attacking monster and could potentially become a wall that your opponent can't get over. And then at the end of the turn that it was played, it gets reset into the spell and trap card zone that it occupies. So you just basically play it. Hopefully you're playing it when you have statue on board to get its effect off, and then at the end of the turn it just resets itself, and you can just keep going and going and going on your opponent's turn, playing this, triggering statue to pop a card, and you just have an endless loop between those two cards. So that's why Cyber Shadow Garden is just really, really good for the deck in combination with Statue Vanquish pattern. Then for the final trap monster, we have the 2 Zone of the Spirit. This is another level 4 trap monster, 1800 attack, 500 defense. It summoned itself in defense position, and then if it were to be destroyed by battle, it inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that destroyed it. So it's neat because you can summon it, and if your opponent attacks into it, they'll take damage, or you can just crash into one of your opponent's big monsters and inflict big damage to them. And then of course it is a level 4 that allows you to go into some rank 4 plays. And I will say, as far as other trap monsters are concerned, you can definitely consider playing Metal Reflect Slime. It's a level 10 trap monster with 0 attack, 3000 defense, and really no other effect. The biggest reason to play it is because it does give the calculator a bit more of a boost than, say, Abyss Stun Ray, but I prefer Abyss Stun Ray just because it serves a bit more purpose of being both an offensive and a defensive play, for the fact that it can't be destroyed by battle on its own, and it's a 1900 attacker, so that's why I personally choose to play a third Stun Ray over, say, a Metal Reflect Slime. So that's it for the trap monsters. Next we have the free Imperial Custom. This just basically says that your continuous traps, namely your trap monsters, cannot be destroyed at all. So that means they can't be destroyed by card effects, they cannot be destroyed by battle, as long as Imperial Custom is on the board. You could say the free might get a bit cloggy considering you can only control 1, but it is worth playing the free, just still you'll see it more often, and it is a very important card to have on board to get your strategy going, so that's why I personally play free. Next, for the actual traps, we have the 2 Breakthrough skill for some effect negation. This I like a little bit better than, say, Phoenix Chain, because it doesn't stay on board like Phoenix Chain does and doesn't clog up your back row. Phoenix Chain combined with Imperial Custom could become a bit of a problem with clogging up your back row. And then with Breakthrough Seal, of course, you have the double use of it, being able to use it from your graveyard on your turn, which can actually be very useful in the Monarch matchup for stopping Aether. So that's why I personally like Breakthrough Skill. Then for the Mamelio search targets, we have the 2 Time Space and the 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. And then for 1-ofs, we have the 1 Solemn Strike and the 1 Solemn Warning to round out the main deck. So that was it for the main deck. Total of 40 cards. It's 7 monsters, 9 spells, and 24 traps. 14 trap monsters total, the free Imperial Customs, and then the 7 real traps. Now on to the extra deck. So starting off, we have 1 rank 2 with Gaichi Gentetsu. Just mostly kind of a filler card that you potentially could go into with, say, 2 calculators, or like a calculator and a card if that ever came up. For rank 4s, we have Abyss Dweller, Karen Gorgon, which is cool because you can redirect targeting effects away from your trap monsters and Imperial Custom, Castell, Dark Rebellion, Diamond Dire Wolf, Cowboy, Samurai, 101, 66 Master Key Beetle. Zone of the Spirit and T Curse are both dark, so you can potentially go into Master Key Beetle to perform a Key Beetle lock with Imperial Custom. Number 80 Rhapsody and Berserk, and finally Traptrix Rafflesia, since we do play the whole trap cards. For rank 5s with Abyss Stun Ray, we have Artifact Durendel and number 61 Volcasaurus. As I said, if you do own Constellar Pleiades, you could definitely play that, since the Abyss Stun Rays are level 5 lights. And then for rank 7 with our Statue of Anguish pattern, we have number 74 Master of Blades. Definitely once Premium Gold Infinite Gold comes out on the 18th, I do hope to get the reprinted Big Eye out of there. So Big Eye would definitely replace Master of Blades once I do get my hands on that. So that's it for the extra deck. Now to wrap it up with the side deck, which I do admit could use some work. I'll kind of go over the side deck and then some cards you could potentially play in the side, in place of some things I have in here. So starting off, we have the 1 Thunder King Ryo to stop searching, the triple Twin Twister to hate on back row, the 2 Necro Valley, and the 2 Zombie World. Zombie World, you could definitely play Mask of Restrict over it because, of course, Mask of Restrict is protected under Imperial Custom. But I only own the 1, so I just went ahead and went with the 2 Zombie World. It pretty much does shut down, Monarch still. The only thing that gets around it is Erebus being the zombie, but other than that, it does stop their tribute summoning, and it also doesn't take up a back row. Then with Necro Valley, it just stops those graveyard reliant decks like Burning Abyss, Mermails, Chatellar Knights, so on and so forth. And this deck doesn't really rely on graveyard at all, so that's why Necro Valley is a pretty decent side card. Then we have the 3 Imperial Iron Wall, mostly for Cosmo. The 2 Chaos Trap Hole, mostly for Denko Sekka, but good for any other light and dark based deck. And then finally the 2 Mind Crush to round out the side deck. Some other things you could consider playing. You of course can consider the fact that Imperial Custom can protect any kind of side deck floodgates if you decide to side in. So you could definitely side in things like Mistake to stop searching, Anti-Spell Fragrance, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, Light Imprisoning Mirror, so on and so forth. So if you do have those, you could definitely consider siding those. But the Zombie World and Necro Valley are also pretty good for the fact that they don't take up a back row space or just a field spell. So there's something to keep in mind as well. And then really other than that, I mean, some other cards you could consider playing for trap monsters. You could consider hand traps like Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre, Max C. The only reason I personally don't like Max C with a deck like this is because it's already slow as it is, and the cards you're getting off of Max C are typically trap monsters, so you're drawing cards that you're typically going to have to set your next turn and wait another turn before you actually get any use out of them. So that's personally why I'm not a fan of Max C. But Effect Veiler can be pretty good because you want to stop monster effects that would get over your board, get over your trap monsters, get over your Imperial Custom, and then Ghost Ogre, just really depending on a deck you're going against, could be pretty good. So that's it for this updated deck profile for trap monsters. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.